Hello and welcome back to my channel. Sorry today's video is late, and well, a day late and probably half an hour late, I don't know, maybe an hour late. But yesterday I completely forgot to film. Today, obviously I reminded myself I need to film, but just a few things came up. So I was a bit busy, and I was hoping that it would finish just before about 4:30, but that did not happen. So I am filming now because that's when I had the availability to film, so I'm going to do just that. Yesterday I completely blanked on filming. Not good, but well, I'm filming today, so makes up. But as you can see, this is my Flying Scotsman. Hasn't been in the channel or on the channel in months. That's because it simply was broken. Not broken as in any of the body stuff got broken or any of the engine stuff. It was just shorting every time it touched the track, which obviously, as you can imagine, when it touches the track and it shorts immediately isn't a great thing. But I think I've got to a point where it's not doing that anymore, because I ran it Sunday, just gone, and it was fine, beside this back flange here kept popping off the rail, and also it wasn't truly being the Flying Scotsman. It was more the slow Scotsman, which obviously isn't what it's supposed to do. Because the reason it's called the Flying Scotsman is because it was quick. It had power and speed. So it was made to be a fast mainline engine. And when it's going slowly, and in scale speed 20 miles an hour, when it should be going close to 100, something's obviously wrong. By the way, that's on full speed with the controller. So, obviously, we know something's wrong with it, but I don't particularly know what. What I think it is simply it needs an oil, which is probably about correct. So, we can take that off, have a little look at it here. Obviously that needs to be fixed at some point, but I'll talk to someone about that and see what we can do with it. But the front end, I think, is pretty much fine. I think it's this back end, maybe a bit of weight underneath of here, just in there, possibly a bit of weight and some isolators, but beyond that, I think the main cause of our issues is in this compartment here. Obviously that little thing there holding that on, we custom built that at the Walthamstow Pass Museum, me and some other railway volunteers. So I'm going to put the camera down just for a second while I open this tender up, and I'll be back once the tender is open. Right, and so we are back. I've obviously put my light above on because it was just too dark for me to be able to see. So this is screwed in by 2 screws. Here's the underside of the tender and a lovely BR tender. Now there might be a project with a BR tender on the channel soon. I just need to clear it with some other people just to see whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, where we might buy just a normal coal tender with obviously that bit chopped off or filled in, and we might buy an L&ER water tender for the L&ER Flying Scotsman where it had 2 tenders, and we might do a little job of merging the two. Obviously I know purists are not going to be too happy about making a BR water tender because it wasn't realistic, but we might not do it, we'll see. So, right. There are many things I'm already seeing off camera, obviously, because I have to bring it up close to look at it. I'm hoping I haven't just lost a screw. No, I haven't. Just put the screw out. So I'm going to collect the 2 screws so that I don't lose them. 1 and 2. Okay, they're off camera now. So, what we now have is an engine which I think is going to be bone dry, which turns out it is. So, first step, turn the engine to its side, then go put the engine oil I have off to the side here, so I'll just take the cap off that, get rid of the packaging for the oil, spring open the top of it. So now we've just got straight oil. Obviously never put too much of this on. I must have switched hands here, so this is about to get some really awkward footage. This is going to be really interesting here. So we'll put some on just here. This is quite awkward to do when you're trying to film. I want to put some on there, some on that gear as well, some on these gears here. Obviously I'm putting on a bit more than you should actually do. That's just simply because I want to try it, because first off I can't actually get this working properly with actually seeing it on camera and doing it. And then I will turn the gears, which is another thing you shouldn't do, is turn the gears when you're putting engine oil on them, because this never goes well. But obviously I'm a little bit more the risk taker with this, and sometimes it does not pay off. So for you guys, I would advise go and find someone like Hornby to do this, or obviously if you're in the Walthamstow area, come down to the Walthamstow Pump House Museum, and on a very special request we can do this. But yeah, if you do have an engine that's been sitting around for a while and you are in the Walthamstow area, do come down to the Walthamstow Pump House Museum. We are very nice volunteers there, and if you are lucky, we will help you with your engine. Obviously we won't do it to everyone, so obviously don't expect it, but all I will say is it doesn't hurt to try. But if like 100 of you turn up expecting it, then obviously the next video I'll be saying don't. But if it's like 1 or 2 people that come down, obviously we're always more than happy to help. But obviously we're a limited volunteer staff. We can only do so much. So don't expect everything. That I think is where the light would go. Obviously this doesn't have lights. I think it can, but I don't think it does. Which is interesting because I think it should have lights. Interesting. So I'm going to stop the video now just for a second. And I'm just going to fix things up and just clean the excess oil off, and I'll be back once that's done. So that's a bit of the excess oil cleaned off. So it should run a little bit better now. Obviously I don't have it set to run, so I'm going to quickly get a little bit of track out and get it set to run. I'll just hold it and hopefully it should get a bit of run in it. Right, so I'm back. It's a little bit temperamental. Obviously it has got power right now. Yeah, it's on full power, so it's obviously being a bit temperamental, but it's sort of jolting a bit. It's just about catching that sort of bite point, giving it enough of a sort of simulated bite that the sort of motor will take. So what I'm basically trying to do here, right, if anyone wondering, is I've put some oil on, and what I want to happen here is it sort of pull. So obviously it's going to have a tough time doing that because it doesn't have its power cast. So let me just amend that. Right, and we've come across another issue. That on its own was okay, it was being a bit fiddly, like not wanting to run. As soon as I put this on, it keeps killing it. So obviously we know now something between the connection there is killing everything. So we know whatever the connection is there, we need to fix. This may be a multiple part video because I'm really getting on like 10 minutes of recording. So I still got to do all my other channels as well. So we might resume this in another video later. But it's definitely something to do with the wiring in this engine, which isn't good because I didn't want to touch this engine, or this part of the engine, but it looks like I'm going to have to, which isn't ideal. But we'll try it with just this on. Let's see if it's railed properly. Nope. Yeah, no it is. Very interesting. The end wheel's a bit faulty, but that's just normal. Gonna have to put the camera down for the second one. I think it's the controller. Right. So we found one of the issues. Number one, that the track is absolutely disgracefully dirty. So it's not exactly picking up much in terms of contact. It's picking some up. Obviously some is not exactly all the current that we need. Just not ideal, because I don't unfortunately have half of my kit here. I have my personal kit of a couple of screwdrivers and some oil and some track, but I don't have things like crocodile clips, which is very helpful for this type of thing, because it can basically bypass track connections and just directly provide power to the motor. It's biting, it's just not biting enough. Come on. Bite. It will go in a second, it'll be fine, but it's just not going enough at the minute. Trying to get it to the point where it just gets enough power that it just goes. It's not getting the power. Just trying to stimulate it now. Well, hopefully with a bit of stimulation on the gears, it might detect more power than there is. I think the track is quite dirty. Anyway, this is it for part 1 of trying to fix my Flying Scotsman. Come back sometime very soon, and by very soon I mean I'm going to film part 2 after I film for the next 2 channels, so it's either going to be later today, seeming unlikely, tomorrow, quite likely, or Saturday that part 2 comes out, and then part 3 will be out Sunday, which will be testing it at the pump house on proper track for you guys. So, hope you all did enjoy part 1 of the 3-part series of trying to restore my Flying Scotsman to full running condition, and hope to see you all in parts 2 and 3 coming in the next few days leading up to Sunday, when part 3 will be released at potentially, well, I was going to say 16:30, meaning 4:30 British time, but it's more likely to be 5 or later. In fact, it could be so late as 8, but it's basically just whenever I get home I will post it, unless I post it while I'm at the pump house. But if any of you want to come down to the Walthamstow Pump House Museum, please do, I will be there. Obviously, please be nice, respectful and all that lovely thing. But, yes. Parts 2 and 3, next few days. Thank you for watching part 1 of trying to restore my Flying Scotsman to running condition. See you on the next episode. Bye.